Hello and welcome, my name is Ahura and this is my Let's Play series of Distant Worlds Universe. First off, I've got a couple of things to tell. If I'm not using the native music from the game because as far as I know it's licensed, which means that I can't use it on my YouTube channel without getting flagged from YouTube, possibly getting my channel blocked, and most definitely losing any small amount of revenue I get from making my videos. So I'm using some sort of space-themed unlicensed music that I found on Machinima Sounds. Furthermore, I've using a theme here, Das Chrome Natural. I'll be posting a description in the description of the video. I'll be posting a link to the mod so you can get it also. The reason I'm using it is first off all the different art for the buttons in the game are a bit it's a bit hard to see them, see what they are. They are a bit I don't know how to explain it, but it's just easier to see them this way. And furthermore, this mod adds backgrounds to the different resources in the games, which makes it a lot easier to differentiate them and to see what different resources is important for you and which aren't. First of all, there are two different types of resources in the game. There are strategic resources, which have the blue background in this mod, and there are luxury resources which have either orange or yellow background. Furthermore, within these two types, there are different importance of resources. In the strategic resources, there are these light blue. These are resources that you either use a lot of or who are uncommon to find, while the blue one here are a resource that you do need but aren't that important in the start and who are more abundant, so you will find a lot of them. The same thing somewhat applies to luxuries, where all these orange ones would be the normal luxuries, while the yellow ones would be the three extremely rare super resources in the game. I'll explain them in the game when we find them. But anyway, I just wanted to say that before we get going, just so that the people who have played the game before won't get confused. So anyway, let's set up the game. We'll be playing a custom game, and we'll be playing with varied clusters. You can also play with elliptical, where you have kind of the spiral form of a normal galaxy with a ring around. You can have a spiral where the center of the map will have the highest concentration of stars, and then the stars will spiral out like the Milky Way, like the usual kind of galaxy. You have like a ring structure with a lot of stars out in the outer system and a small amount of rings in a cluster in the middle. You can just have a random map where it's just irregularly all over the place. You can have clusters like small islands of stars, and you can have them either in even sizes or varied sizes. And I just like the varied clusters. It gives an interesting gameplay where if you start in a small cluster, there's a good chance that you'll be there by yourself, but at the same time you might not be able to get that many colonies, and you might not be able to get all your resources. Where if you start in one of the bigger clusters, you have a lot more colonies to get to, but at the same time you will probably be starting pretty close to one of the other empires, and you'll have to decide right off the bat if you want to trade with them or if you want to conquer them. So it just makes it a little more exciting, I think. Anyways, I just wanted to explain it. Also, I'm gonna play with 700 stars, which is I like big games usually, but as this is a let's play, a big game will take a lot of time. So I'm just gonna choose something here in the middle, and the same with the sector sizes, the size of the map. So the physical size is the actual size of the map, and the star amount is the amount of stars that you can visit and build on. So if you look at it in civilization terms, then this is the map size, and this is the amount of land that you can actually build on. Then we get to the settings for the universe as a whole. I decided that I wanna set the expansion at young. I actually wanna change the aggression to restless, so that we'll have a bit more war in the universe. And well, let's also set the difficulty to hard, just to give us a little bit of difficulty. Yeah. And these things apply to the whole universe, to all the random empires that we assign later, so they don't apply to us. And that's important because I want to be starting a bit smaller than all my neighbors, just to make it a bit more interesting. So we are kind of the young race, starting in our space exploration in a universe where most of the other empires will already have their footing. And the way it works is that when I've chosen young, then most of the other empires will also be young, and a few of them will be starting, and maybe a few of them will be expanding. And this both affects the number of planets they control at the start of the game, and also how much research they will have done at the start of the game. So yeah. Also, I want to set the research cost to expensive, just to make research take a little more time. In my opinion, the normal rate is a bit too fast. You kind of breeze to the research without ever getting to use much of it, and I like games where you kind of have to limp along until you can get your research up. So that's why I've chosen that. I don't like space creatures, so I've just turned them off. I don't find that they make a big difference. You usually only lose small ships to them. I haven't played with them for that much, so maybe they will get more important later on in the game, but I just don't like it, so I've turned them off. On the other hand, pirates are very important to the game, in my opinion. So I want them in the game. Just normal amount, I find is enough, and a normal strength also makes sure that they are a nuisance, but they aren't game-changing. The most important part of the game, at least in my opinion, is playing against the other empires, so making the pirates too strong just annoys me. The next thing is just setting off of colonies. We want just a normal amount of colonies and a normal amount of independent alien life. We'll follow the game suggestions for colony influence range, and I've set the colony range to 1.5 sectors, just to make sure that empires don't spread out too much. Yeah. For race, I like to play with the Canadians. I haven't played with all the races yet, so I'm not ready to start a random game. And these just suit my playstyle a lot. As you can see here, they are slightly aggressive, but cautious. They are friendly, tend to be friendly. They are very intelligent, and they are extremely dependable. And what that means is that while they are not they won't be pushed around, they are a bit aggressive, but they are not that easily to go into agreements with other people. But when they do go into agreements with other people, they are extremely dependable, so they won't break it. And this is also reflected in their race victory conditions, where we want to get the longest lasting mutual defense pact, we want to get the longest lasting free trade agreement, and we don't want to break treaties. And also, because we are intelligent, we are research focused. This is also reflected in our bonuses, where we get faster research, and we use that research to build cheaper ships. As you can see here, we have, like all races, 3 resource bonus. If we get Natarian spices, Natarian incense, we get a bonus to our energy research. If we get polymer, which is very important, we get a development bonus for all our colonies. And if we get Rephidium Ale, we get happiness for our colonies. So these resources are extra important to our race. And finally, we are less likely to get troop generals, we are more likely to get scientists, and we are more likely to get intelligence agents. And also we have a special technology, the Shadow Ghost ECM, which is a countermeasure, so it's a bit for our spaceships that make it harder for the others to hit us. The next thing we want to set up is our empire. I like this blue color. Let's go with white and no. Well, maybe. It's also always hard to find a color setup that you like. It's not perfect, but it's okay. We just want to start at a random place. We want our home system to just be a normal. This is how the quality of your home system, and we'll just choose a normal quality, so we don't get too much of a better start than the other empires. As I said, I want to be starting at a starting size, whereas the rest of the universe will be young, just to make it a little more interesting. We are starting at normal tech level, and we'll go with normal corruption. For government, I want to start as a republic. It goes along great with our race. It lowers corruption, it increases research speed, it increases our colony income, and unfortunately it also increases maintenance, which is then offset by our racial trait, and it decreases war readiness. And that's okay, because we aren't going to go into a lot of wars. If we want to get some friends going, and when we go to war, it's because it's very necessary. So we won't do it all the time. So that's okay. Finally, we want to set up the game so we have 11 random empires. That's I think the game actually suggests this based on the size you've created, and from the few games I've played thus far, it seems that 11 empires is a good number for the size of the galaxy that I've set up. And also we want to allow independent alien colonies to start new empires during the game. Then for victory conditions, we're just going to use the victory conditions that are suggested in the game, with the 3 general victory conditions making 100%. But then the race specific conditions is kind of a bonus on top of that, and you need to get to 80% to win the game. Then I've disabled all the story events just to make sure there are no spoilers if you want to play the game yourself. And I've disallowed the giant Keltors again because I don't like space animals. When I play by myself, I disallow technology trading just because it's too tempting to use it to generate a lot of money, but let's just play with it on. And we're gonna start the game. Now, unfortunately, because of the way I record, I have to stop the video here, so I'll see you in the next video where we'll be starting the game.